The data type of object, what is it? Well, all an object is a way of organizing information using pairings to keep track of data. And this data we refer to as values, or a value. And we keep track of it with an identifier called a key. And this key can be one of two things. It can be either a string or a number. Now, if you use a number as a key, it just gets converted into a string. So all keys are strings. So the most basic syntax of an object are these key value pairings. So key, colon, and then the value. And this value can be anything. It can be a string, it can be a number, it could be an array, it could be another object, it could be a function, anything. Key value pairs. So key value pairs separated by commas. So key value, key value, key value. And then of course the closing curly braces. So there are three different ways to add data to our object. We can do it when we instantiate the object, so when we create the object. And then after the fact, if we want to still add information, we can do it through object notation or array notation. So let's create an object of dog names. We'll call it dogs. It's a new object. We'll call the first key first. It doesn't need to be called first. It can be whatever you want. First dog's name is Rex, and the second dog's name is Lala. Now let's see who we get. Let's refresh the console. And that's our object right there. First and second are strings, and we get Rex and Lala. Now let's add data after the fact using object notation. So the name of the object followed by a period, followed by the key name in a string. We don't need the quotes here. So we need the quotes up here when we instantiate, or when we use array notation in a second, but when we use object notation to add a piece of data to our object, we don't need the quotes. So dog, third dog is named Donna. We refresh, and we have Donna right there. Third is Donna. Now let's add a fourth, but instead of using a string as a key, we'll use a number as a key. So dogs.4 is equal to wheat. Now, when we use a number like that, we get an error. If we want a number as a key, we can't use it in object notation like this. There are two different ways. We can do it when we instantiate like this, wheat. Delete this guy. And now when we refresh, we get wheats right there. With the key, that's a string now. This 4 is a string. We get wheat. Or after the fact, we can use array notation. So dogs, square brackets, 4, and then wheat. And refresh, and wheat's still right there. Now pay attention to the, take a look at this. Look at the order here. When we added the data, we added first Rex, second Lala, third Donna, and 4 wheat. Yet when it prints out, it prints 4 wheat, first Rex, second Lala, third Donna. Why is it printing out of order? Well, this is because objects are out of order. They're not ordered lists like arrays are ordered lists. When you create an array, you're reserving a chunk of memory, a contiguous chunk of memory like this. This is how an array knows how to access your elements. It always starts at 0 and it just counts ahead in bits, I think. So when we do AR, let's say element 2, which is object, or item 3, it'll start at 0 and it just counts, it does basic math. So 0, 1, and it gives you this 2 guy here. Our data here, wheat, Rex, Lala, and Donna, is just floating around in memory. This is why we need the key. The key helps us find it in the memory. So for this reason, we can't treat objects the way we can treat arrays. Specifically, we can't iterate through objects like we iterate through arrays. And we'll see that in a few moments. Let me just get into how to delete some data. So how do we delete data in an object? Well, there's a keyword called delete. So there's a few ways of writing this. So delete, we can say object notation third like that. We can say delete array notation like that. And for the key that was a number, we can treat it like a number or a string now. So delete, again, we can't do like that. We can't do object notation with numbers. So dogs, we can do string 4 like that, or we can keep it how we created it, dogs number 4 like that. Let's go ahead and delete wheat from the object. And refresh, and wheat is gone from the object. Now how are we going to loop through this object? If it's not a contiguous piece of memory, that's to say the memory isn't side by side like this, it's just floating around. How are we going to loop through this object in a predictable way? What we're going to do is just do a bit of a workaround. We're going to grab the keys from the object, and those keys will be an array. So when we loop through the keys, we can loop through the values in the object in a predictable way. And how are we going to do this? Well, there's an object literally called object, that guy right there, and he has a method called keys, and the argument is an object, and it returns an array. As you can see, the array is full of the keys of the object, first, second, third, and because we can loop through an array, we can now quote unquote loop through an object. So let's go ahead and do that. So we just store the keys somewhere. Let's say dog tags. So dog tags is equal to object.keys. Throw our object in there. We now have all the keys of the array. We'll loop through the dog tags using a for each. So for each tag, we're just going to print out the names of the dogs. So we'll do a console.log. We'll say my name is, and name of the object. Using array notation, we'll plug in the tag. So let's see what we get. Save, refresh, and there we go. So by looping through the keys, well, we capture the keys first, and then loop through the keys because the keys are now an object. Object.keys returns an array. So loop through the dog tags array, and then we just plug in the tag using array notation into the object. This is how we achieve looping through an object. My name is Rex, my name is Lala, and my name is Donna. And so that's going to be it for the video. It's just a quick video on objects. How to create an object, how to add data to an object. We can instantiate it. We can use object notation. We can use array notation. How to delete data from an object using the keyword delete. And how to quote unquote loop through an object. Capture the keys and loop through the keys instead. And so, like always, like, comment, share, subscribe, thumbs up, whichever platform you're watching this one on. And I will see you guys in the next video.